Couple of starters on the field, but we expect to play most of their backups. It is Mike Washington pounding over a defender, carrying the opening handoff right through the middle for 8 yards. Before the Texans practice week did not play. Washington again. Look at the block for the fullback Hayward to get him the first down. What is now his 5th season out of ASU. Cousins back to the air. Good protection. Back to Bowers. And he is wrapped up. Tatum Bethune, 3rd year out of Florida State, one of the backup linebackers. It'll be 3rd down. For Brock Bowers, you just assume that is target number 1. And then from there, you figure it out. Cousins came off the initial hit. He found Jalen Naylor. It's a first down. 32nd, Rich, almost 15 yards fewer than the 31st place team. There's Trey Tucker. And he picks up all of that penalty yardage and more. It'll be 2nd down and 4 coming up. He's in the backfield off that motion. And they throw it to Tucker. He's got one man to beat. Gets the sideline, first down. He left the rookie Jaden Duggar in his dust. Picked up 8 yards. The veteran this time from 37. Out of the hole of A.J. Cole. And Kirk. Record book, week 1. Raiders will host the Dolphins here at Allegiant Stadium. Washington bounces that outside. He rumbles for 14 more. And he has put on his ability all preseason to make some big plays. He had a 33-yarder against the Texans. A 53-yarder against the Cardinals. He breaks another tackle and gets 5 or 6 here. The throw. Tucker gets a block from Colton Miller. Nobody saw the gentleman coming from behind.
Kirk Cousins seems to get a head coaching job. Clint Kubiak's the next one up.
Michael Mayer went in motion, breaks a tackle, and just can't keep his feet, but he's got a first down.
I think he'll start the season for the Raiders.
To the ground, huge hole for Washington. Carries a defender for 11 yards. Ashton Davis, the veteran safety.
Great sense for the running game. He's just a very natural runner that bobs and weaves with great ease.
Trying to set up the tight end screen to Michael Mayer. And a great play. Darrell Luter Jr., 25th against the pass. Remember, they only had 20 sacks. Dead last in the league by a wide margin. Cousins finds Jack Besh. He sat down, picks up about 5 or 6. 35 was his career high in 2020 with the Vikings. On 3rd down, that is a tough throw and great coverage. Cole puts it down, and he is still perfect here in the preseason. Raiders, first team defense out here for a 2nd series. That's a big gap to the outside that is closed.
31st a year ago, opponents converted 46% of their opportunities on 3rd down.
To the ground. It is a first down for San Francisco.
Yeah, he's a one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he can really ruin a game plan by himself. What the Raiders need is they need more players that play with that intensity and that confidence and that swagger that we.
Set to throw on his first snap. He's hit. What a grab by Naylor! Mendoza was drilled as he threw it. It was way behind the. He was bloodied, he was battered, and he led him to a national championship anyway. Over the middle, through the hands of Naylor, and intercepted. Tatum Bethune off of the pinball. And he's finally brought down by his former Niner teammate Spencer Burford. Naylor couldn't handle it. It's a 16-yard return the other direction.
Get deeper in your throw and your depth.
Force him to throw the ball.
Force him to throw the ball.
Now, quick change here, and Adrian Martinez in at quarterback. And it's a toss play to Fernando's former college teammate, and Kalen Black, who's in the Jets somewhere in between, is the MVP of the UFL in 2024. He throws it short. Watkins in between 3 Raiders. Isaiah Polamau, the first hit. Tommy Eichenberg cleaned it up, and it's 3rd and goal. Martinez to the air, to the corner, and it's broken up. Isaiah Polamau stepped in front of the tight end, Braden Willis, and it's 4th down. The snap of John Weeks in the hold of Corliss Wakeman. It is booted right through. And so the Mendoza interception leads to just 3. Rob Leonard's defense.
You got to be very proficient in the passing game at the running back position.
Devin Tompkins on the return with Roman Henby leading the way and he takes it out past the 30. New coaches in the NFL. He's with Tennessee. Pressure on Mendoza, and down he goes. Pressure came through. Keon White, the former Patriot, gets the sack. Who played on that Super Bowl 11 win over Minnesota. Adrian Martinez took over for Mac Jones. He hands it off to Jordan James again. Cody Lindenberg, first man through. Patrick Johnson. He is there again. We are getting a whole lot of 93 here in this preseason. Raiders come out running. Dare Ogunbowale gets the carry, and he is ridden down to the turf after a pickup of 6. Third down and 5. Jack Besh is on the field. Bottom of the screen. Mendoza has good protection. Laube. Oh, he got through a pair of defenders. That was not going to be a first down, and he picked up 12 yards after he had a pair of Niners whiff. You know, he's a guy who made the roster 2 years in a row on special teams. Mendoza sacked from behind.
I always love his line. Are you willing to go longer and harder than your opponent? And that's what we need from these offensive linemen.
And around the reverse to Jordan Watkins, who gets a block, and he's got 15 yards. Jermon McCoy tackled him up high.
How many fronts you're going to play? What kind of runs you're going to have?
Trying to get bragging rights for Thanksgiving, Rich.
Set up the screen to Jordan James. He's got 2 blockers in front. They set that up beautifully. And Jordan James inside Raiders territory for 20 yards.
They've got a bunch of backs all trying to find a way to get on the field.
Now, you mentioned the former Raiders. Here's Sincere McCormick, who is upended by Massis. Martinez on the rollout. Key and slow. Can't get his hand on it. It's a first down. Hayden Rucci, the tight end. That was just over the outstretched arms. He knew his assignment. To the ground on first down. That's a big hole. And James gets away from Stoops for an extra 5 yards. And his first and goal after a 17-yard gash play.
To get back to that level of play that your squad's had for those years, they're hoping to take that step with Clint Kubiak.
That's play of the drive. Martinez certainly can scramble. He's got a long way to go, and he got a lot farther than it looked like. Eichenberg chased him out of bounds.
Every other year at that position. That's what's really held back this organization the last decade.
Pinheiro good from 24. He is now good from 25. 1:31 to go here before halftime. Dylan Laube starts it off with a run, and he picks it out to the 34. He's got 6.
No sacks in this situation. There you go.
Brody and Thomas is close to the first down. You got to have a little bit more urgency. You do have the 2 timeouts.
Good throw.
Brandon Johnson went low to make the catch, and then Clint Kubiak does take his second timeout. Mendoza comes back to Ian Thomas at the short gain. He is driven back by Jaden Duggar, rookie out of Louisiana, who last year was a tackling machine. Gay is hit from 37. He has knocked one in from 53. This from 45. And he is responsible for all 9 Raiders points here in the first half. Brings us to the locker room. 9-6 Raiders on top.
Since installs have done, they've been able to have a true game plan, and I just see a much improved defense from the beginning of training camp to where they are now finishing up the preseason.
Khalil Herbert, a couple of yards out of the end zone. Keelan Sloan in on the special teams tackle. Those 2 guys, 10 carries for 57 yards. Martinez with some pressure, goes the other way to Dinkins, the backup tight end, and he's tripped up by Greedy Vance. Those mugs are Lindenberg and Shegu Alubi. They backed out of there. Martinez with pressure from behind, and he's sacked from behind. The pocket eventually collapses. It's the rookie, Kieron Crawford. Ogunbowale picking his way out across the 20. The offensive line trying to drive. He's about a yard shy. You know, it'll be dictated, obviously, by how the season goes.
Yeah, it could be week to week. I mean, it's just it's the nature of our business. Throw it away.
Now he stays on his feet, and he picks up nearly the first down. looked like it was disastrous, and instead it's a 7-yard scramble.
For a couple first downs each week, I think that's really important at that position.
He just ran for a first down. He got low, QB sneak right through the middle, and picks up 2.
I think Aiden O'Connell could be a real asset in his growth and development as a young quarterback. That's why I think they'll keep 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah. That's a big question mark, right? Will the Raiders keep 3 quarterbacks?
Set their egos aside to work together to find wins.
Trying to pick up 3rd down. He goes to his college teammate, Roman Hemby. He and Kalen Black were the battering duo for Indiana last year. Black's on the 49ers sideline. Hemby's first action, and he picks up the first down. Over 4,500 yards from scrimmage, and he has the carry. And he is drilled. Jalen Graham came up to make the stop. Tatum Bethune, who had the interception in the first quarter.
You want to get in the last preseason game. The last thing you want to do is see somebody get hurt.
Mendoza dumps it to Hemby again. Bounces off of one defender. Has the first down. It's 14 yards.
You want to throw him open. You want to throw it to his left shoulder so he'll turn to his left.
Another tackle for Jaden Duggar, the rookie out of Louisiana, who now has 8 in the ballgame. Third preseason game against the Niners. It is 9-6. After Matt Gay's miss from 54, Martinez with Jafari Harvey giving chase. That is a beautiful ball. Jordan Watkins all the way across the field, the second-year pro out of Ole Miss. They back out of the blitz. They come with 4. Martinez to Watkins again. Beautiful touch just over the outstretched arms of the corner, Devin Perkins. That's a pickup of 19. Patrick Johnson and Keelan Crawford, those 2 guys coming heavy. They get it out on a quick throw, and Dalton Johnson, there's the tackle you were talking about. Nowhere to go for Kaderil Hodge. Down to 1. They get it off. Raiders come with 4. Martinez escapes the pocket. Left it short. Incomplete. Cameron McGrone in on the coverage on Rucci.
These guys have made it really hard on us. We have some really hard decisions coming up, and I'm proud of all of them.
The 48-yard kick from Eddie Pinheiro, and that is good. So we are once again tied at 9.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though. It's a tough schedule. I mean, you look at the first 5 games, Miami, you got to go on the road to Los Angeles, New Orleans.
Right.
Now 3rd down and 12. The Niners just 1 of 9 on 3rd down. Raiders coming with a blitz. Martinez to Rucci. Sloan can't make the tackle, and it's a first down. Now Pinheiro has been outstanding in his career from 50-plus. This is from 58, and it is good. He drilled that.
And everyone's pushing each other, and I know, for myself, I pride myself on leading from the front and being the guy that's going to set the tone every day. And so, there's going to be times where you get into it, and I think he's doing an incredible job of pushing that message.
This is a 3rd and 5 here for Aiden O'Connell, and it's dropped. That was in a tight coverage. Cedric Jackson had his hands on it.
My first season in week 3 on a 3rd and 8 or whatever it is. My football mind is something when it comes to memory that I feel like I excel at. So yeah, no, it's awesome.
Much different speed.
Martinez trying to get the screen. Oh man, the Raiders were all over that. Pair of rookies, Brandon Cleveland, Gary Smith III. That's a tackle for a loss of about 7.
And actually was on the hands team.
It's a big broken run there for Herbert all the way. He picked up 16 yards.
Yeah.
It's here McCormick. That's a good stick. Brandon Cleveland.
If I need to win a football game tomorrow, Kirk Cousins is the best guy for that job at the moment.
Pinheiro from 51 gives the Niners the lead. He is 5 for 5 on the night. Last year, Jake Moody was your kicker, and there was no confidence there. And at 3 games in, they had cut him. That's a different story with...
Get out of bounds.
Oh, did not get out of bounds. Slid down inbounds. And now Clint Kubiak with 105. Does take his final timeout. If it's good, the Raiders will need a touchdown with about 7 seconds left on the clock. It is put down. That kick is up. And he stays perfect. And there it is with 7 seconds left on the clock.